Okay, we're looking at control accounts now. So this is page 97, question 4 that I have open. So we've got two documents we're looking at. We've got the creditors control account. So this question is looking at creditors control, people we owe money to, and the list of balances. So list of balances is meant to represent what happens in the personal account. So if the mistake, the thing that needs to be fixed is in the personal account, it goes into the list of balances. The other account then will be the control account. Okay, so we look at the setting up of the question. So it says we have two balances. So 46,983 at the top there on the credit side, and a balance of 651. So 651 means, remember, the creditors are people we owe money to. So this 651, if nothing has changed in this is basically is money that a creditor, I owe to a creditor, but they now owe me the money back because basically it's some kind of refund. So I bought goods, I owe money for it, I paid for the goods, and then I had to send the goods back. So I'm owed a refund, or I'm probably going to end up getting the goods that these are owed for. If nothing happens during the question, then I'll have a balance CD and a balance BD of that 651 again. But we'll see what happens at the end of the question. So this is the start of the question. Now let's look at the first one. A creditor charged best interest on an overdue account. The only entry made for the books was interest 69 credit interest account. After a protest, the interest was reduced to 40, and this was not reflected in the accounts. Okay, so let's look and see what happened in the personal account. So that's over here, okay, and it said the only entry made was 69 credited to the interest account. So that means the interest account is going to be over here. So nothing happened in the personal account. And we say interest was charged. That means I owe more money. So I'll need to put in interest in the add section because I owe more money. Now, so nothing was put in for the 69. And after a protest, the interest is reduced to 40, reflection not put into the account. So I should have 40 in here. Nothing was originally put into the personal account, so I'm putting in personal account of 40 now. So what I did in the other account, which is the interest account. So interest is an expense. This means I should be charged more money, and an expense is a debit. But I put a credit in means I was charged less expense. So I put in a minus 69 in my interest, whereas after the protest, the interest should be 40. So I'm going to have to put in a plus 69 to cancel the minus 69 of interest put in, and I'll have to put in the 40 that we've actually been charged. So that's a 109 in total. And that's plus, meaning more money is owed, so I put it on the credit side, which is a plus side of the creditor's control account. Okay, so, and again, we're asking ourselves, do we owe more money or less? What I did here in the interest account, I said you owe me less, so I reduced my interest expense, whereas I should have said you owe more of 40, so that's where the difference comes there. So that's 69 and 40. Next one, discount received by supplier, 154, was treated as discount allowed in the books. So discount received is reducing the money that's owed. So I treated that as discount disallowed, so I treated it as if more money was owed. So what I'm going to do is, because I put it on the complete opposite side, I'm going to double it and put the correct side. And it said it was treated as that in the books, that means everywhere. So discount allowed discount received reduces money that's owed, so I'll have that on both sides. And I'll have it in the less over here. And because I put it in as disallowed, which would have made it a plus, I'm going to have to double it to make it into a minus. So it's 154 times 2. Oh, sorry, I put it in the wrong place. So in both places, I'll have 308 minus. Next one. Best. So we're our best. Receive an invoice from supplier. So it means we bought goods, so we owe money to our supplier. Entered in the day book is 360. So that means it would have gone into the purchase account, which is the other account in this case, and it would have gone into the list of balances as the wrong amount. It went in as too little. So when posting the book to the ledger, no entry made in the personal account. So I've put nothing into the personal account about the fact that 630 is now owed. So I'm going to add 630 in here, and I'm going to call it purchases. And I should have had a purchase here of 630 as well, but I put it in as 360, so I need to add on whatever the difference is. I had too little in there, so I'm going to have to put in 630 minus the 360 I actually put in, so that's the amount when it goes into it. Credit note received from suppliers. Credit note is goods being returned, so purchases returns. The only entry in the book is 108 creditors, the creditors account. So the creditors account is the personal account. When I credit their account, creditors are people I owe money to. When I credit means I owe more money, whereas I should have actually owed them less because I returned goods. So I'm going to have purchase returns down here. So purchase returns. So I'm going to cancel the 108 in here, and I'm going to do what I should have done in the first place, which would be 180, and all of that's in less. And then over here, and that's it, that was the only entry made was 108. So I fixed what I did in the personal account, and now I go over to the other account, which is the purchase returns. And purchase returns means less money is owed, so it should be on the minus side. And the amount is 180. Now, just so we understand, why am I doing this on the debit side? When I started the question, I should have said creditors are people you owe money to, they're liability. So therefore, this credit side is the plus side, means I should owe these people more. The debit side is the less side, means I owe these people less, and I owe them less because of purchase returns. Okay, next one. Cash purchases 160 and credit purchases are debited to a supplier's account. So supplier's account is a personal account. Okay, so cash purchases, first of all. Cash purchases means I bought goods and I paid for them. Do I owe more or do I owe less? I don't owe either. I owe the same amount of money because that person, I bought goods from them and I paid them, so I should owe them nothing. So that should never have been put anywhere in. Now I debited a supplier's account. That debit means for a creditor that's reducing what's owed, so I'm going to cancel that by adding back in the cash purchases. Okay. Okay. Then the other one then, credit purchase 380, debit to supplier. So credit purchase means those people should owe more money. When I debit the supplier's account, it means they owe less. So I'm going to fix that by doubling it to put it into the correct place. And it's 830. And we'll call it credit purchase. And it's 830, but I have to double it, so it's 830 multiplied by 2, so that's 16660, because I put it on the wrong side. Okay. Now, best return goods to a supplier and enter correctly in the books. So that should be a less, and it should be a less here. Now, what should have actually happened? Return goods to a supplier, enter correctly in the books. Later, so that was probably done. Credit note showing a reduction of 10% for restocking charge. The total amount of the credit note was debited to the creditor's account, and 140 was entered on the incorrect side of the nominal ledger. The nominal ledger is the other account here. So let's do what we did wrong in the personal account, which is a list of balances first. So it was debited to the creditor's account, so the total amount of the credit note. So the credit note would have been 160 less the deduction of 10%, less 16, so that would have been, I'm just going to put that over here, so 160 minus 16, so that would have been 144. So I put 144, and that's for the credit note. I would have put 144, it said, and which side did I put it on? It was in, total amount of the credit note was debited to the creditor's account, which would have been less, whereas what I should have done was I put 144 in the minus in the creditors account. What I should have done is just recorded the restocking charge of 16. So I'm going to have to put that up here, and I'll put credit note, and that's going to be 144 to cancel the minus that I did, and I'm going to put in my restocking charge as well. I should have recorded in the first place. so 160. Now over here it says 140 was put on the incorrect side of the nominal ledger. Well, restocking charge means I owe more money, so plus. So I would have put 140 on the minus side, so I need to put my restocking over here. So let's call it credit note. So I'll have 140 to cancel the minus I put in, and as well as that, I'll then do the 16 that I should have done in the first place. So now I finished all the entries and I've got 90% of the marks. I want to finish off the overall question now. So what I do is I start with my control account. I need to balance this. Now back to the 651 that balance on the debit side at the beginning. Nothing has happened to change that. So we still have a balance CD of 651, which means we've got a balance BD of 651. So now at this stage then we add everything up. So I want to try and find out what is the total that should be in this account. So we have 48 there, and then our balance CD on the debit side, which will then be the balance BD on the credit side. So the balance CD is going to be 48,169 minus 180 minus 308 and minus 651. So that 47,030, that's the balance BD here on the debit side. Now, so how much do, according to the creditors control account, how much do the creditors owe? So the creditors owe the 47,030 minus the 651. So the actual figure what they owe is 46,379. So that 46,379 should be the same as the total I get in this. Now remember, I don't have a figure for the top for the total of the list, so I'll be working backwards for this. So the correct total is that for my list should be 46,379, so that these two documents should agree with each other. So I'm going to work backwards. So I'll add those two lessons. So I'll have X minus that equals the correct total, so working backwards. I have this number, and I'll add my lesses, the 596, and that'll give me the figure I should have had. So 46 minus 5 is 46,379. Then I'll add up everything in my adds, and I'll do the same there. I'll do the opposite because I'm working backwards. I'll be taking that away. So 26550, so the original total for the list is going to be 46,975 minus the 2650. Hopefully that makes a bit of sense to you.